Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor, Dr. David Manderscheid. University of Tennessee Chair of the Board of Trustees, Mr. John Compton. University of Tennessee System Interim President, Mr. Randy Boyd. And the 9th Chancellor of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Dr. Donde Plowman. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the faculty, staff, and students of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, our honored guests, the official delegates of fellow institutions of higher education, and members of our platform party. Please remain standing. And gentlemen, remove your caps as we begin today's program with the presentation of colors by members of the University of Tennessee Air Force ROTC Color Guard and the singing of our national anthem by vocalist Derek Stull.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Make sure everybody had the proper amount of excitement. Actually, my notes said that the voice of God was supposed to come on next. I didn't know that was me. Sorry. Well, good afternoon, and you may be seated. Distinguished presidents, delegates, trustees of the university, esteemed faculty, students, alumni, and guests, it is my great honor to welcome you to the investiture of Donde Plowman as the 9th Chancellor of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. Thank you to our very talented students and faculty for that beautiful start to our program. Today is an important occasion in the life of our university as we celebrate the investiture of Chancellor Donde Plowman. The investiture is a revered tradition in academia and one I am honored to host today. I'd like to recognize a few special guests before we begin. We are honored to host representatives of our fellow institutions of higher education, and I will announce them in the order of their founding date. Dr. Jeremy Buckner, representing Carson-Newman University, founded in 1851. Dr. Buckner is the acting provost and vice president for academic affairs. Mr. David Sanders, representing the University of the South, founded in 1857. Mr. Sanders is the senior deputy law director for Knox County and a 1994 graduate of the University of Tennessee College of Law. Dr. Sean Seymour, representing Vanderbilt University, founded in 1873. Dr. Seymour is the New York Alumni Chancellor's Chair, Professor of Law, and Professor of Chemistry. He is a 1993 graduate of the University of Tennessee. Dr. Keith Carver, representing the University of Tennessee at Martin, founded in 1927. Dr. Carver is the Chancellor of UT Martin and is a two-time University of Tennessee graduate. Dr. Kathy Bird, representing Pellissippi State Community College, founded in 1974. Dr. Bird is the interim vice president of academic affairs and is a two-time graduate of the University of Tennessee. We are joined by several current and emeritus members of the University of Tennessee Board of Trustees. Will you please stand so that we can recognize you now? Members of the University of Tennessee Knoxville Advisory Board are also with us today. Will you also please stand so we can recognize you? And three of our emeriti and former presidents and chancellors are with us today. If you could help me recognize Dr. Jan Schimmick, Dr. Jimmy Cheek, and Dr. Wayne Davis. If you guys could please stand. And finally, we are glad to welcome members of the State of Tennessee General Assembly. Please stand so we can recognize you. So to continue today's ceremony, we welcome Dr. Mary Lucal, who serves as Associate Vice Chancellor for Human Resources. Dr. Lucal will read an original poem to mark the occasion of Dr. Plowman's investiture. The poem was written by Professor Emeritus and City of Knoxville Poet Laureate, Dr. Marilyn Callett. Dr. Lucal.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here today. Celebrating Donde Plowman, Chancellor. Cheers to our 9th Chancellor, our fresh hope, communicator, connector, chief listener, voice for all of us. Donde Plowman. Donde, she's ahead, leading UTK's future, and with us, helping to manage our diverse ecosystem. Students, faculty, staff, here amidst our great good cheer. Plowman, that's a worker, one with feet on the ground, in touch with the earth, in the classroom with us. Some plowmen of old were lords, but Donde stays one of us. We're gardeners of the mind, plowmen, hardworking, leading men and women. That's not a part we play. It's who we are. Educators, tilling texts or spreadsheets, unearthing solutions, designing pathways to the future. No matter how rugged the early ground we're digging, and we have reach, climbing into the atmosphere, we're cultivating community near and far. Today we celebrate a proven leader, Donde, right here, Plowman. She was named for 3 ministers, among them her father, who would be proud, as we are here, teammates, all Vols. Special thanks to Dr. Callett for capturing the special excitement of this day with her stirring words. It is now my pleasure to introduce our current Faculty Senate President, Dr. Gary Skolitz. Dr. Skolitz is an associate professor in the College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences. He brings us remarks on behalf of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville faculty. Dr. Skolitz.
Thank you. As president of the Faculty Senate, I'm honored to represent my colleagues and to take part in Chancellor Plowman's investiture. Today, as we celebrate the leadership she brings to the University of Tennessee's flagship campus, we also celebrate her role as one of generations of UTK professors who have made the education of students their life's work. It's work that lays the foundation for Tennessee's economy and for the nation's future by helping students, whether they are younger or older adults, grow into innovative, independent, and informed thinkers. As the long-term stewards of the university, we professors have sometimes been accused of living in the past, but actually we are more like time travelers. We live in the past, we live in the present, and we do live in the future. We help to preserve and conserve past knowledge, where we often find the tools to understand the present through the study of American history or philosophy or the history of science. We are present for our students and thinking in real time with them about how to create new materials, how to develop drought-resistant crops, or how to help at-risk middle school students learn and thrive. And we think about the future all of the time, the future of our state, the implications of our applied research, and the kind of world our students will live in. We want them to imagine, to build, and inhabit a healthy, thriving, and successful life. If they flourish, we all flourish. Our past, our present, and future are all bound together. Chancellor Plowman now leads this noble and ambitious enterprise. She has invested herself and her future in this great university, and she truly believes in the volunteer spirit, and she cares about our students. We likewise are invested in her and with her as she builds up the faculty who will teach, mentor, and research alongside these students. We look forward to seeing the reputation and the mission of this campus grow and strengthen. Our research, our teaching, and our service in this university are all about student success, past, present, and future. We are proud of our work, and we're proud to have in Chancellor Plowman a visionary leader to help us move forward together. It is now my pleasure to introduce two of our outstanding students, David Willis, President of the Graduate Student Senate, and Natalie Campbell, President of the Student Government Association.
Hello, everyone. It is such a pleasure to speak before you all today, and I'm honored to be able to participate in this wonderful investiture of Dr. Donde Plowman. People in the community, alumni, and students often ask me different questions about the university, and inevitably, one of the first they ask is, how is Chancellor Plowman? What is she like? I always respond by telling them what I think is quite an impressive story. That is, on her very first day on the job as Chancellor, Chancellor Plowman asked to meet with me in my little office in the student union so that I could tell her about students' concerns. This action immediately demonstrated her humility and clearly communicated her priorities. On a busy day with people pulling her in many directions, she made time to hear from students. Since our conversation, Chancellor Plowman has been a partner to the Student Government Association, and by way of that, the entire student body. We look forward to continuing that partnership throughout her tenure. Chancellor Plowman and I quickly identified students' need for steadiness and consistency. Chancellor Plowman immediately responded to that need by creating opportunities for people to give her advice in her new role by hosting open office hours for anyone to come meet and speak with her. She's visited our student senate many times and has even shared some chips and salsa with students at Soccer Taco, one of our favorite places. Chancellor Plowman has demonstrated she addresses issues head-on, speaking directly to those affected, listening with compassion, and strategically creating solutions. Her quick, definitive responses have created trust and admiration among students. At this exciting time in our university, when our enrollment is growing, beautiful buildings are being built, and research is flourishing, students look forward to the direction of the university under her leadership. I first met Chancellor Plowman days after being elected student body president. We both came into our new roles together, and as the 9th female student body president in the 100 years of student government at the University of Tennessee, I was encouraged to look to our highest leadership on campus to see another strong, smart woman leading us. I am honored to serve in my term alongside Chancellor Plowman, and I am excited, on behalf of students at the University of Tennessee, to work alongside her to create greater access to our institution, an environment where everyone feels like they matter and belong, and to always embody the volunteer creed by always being willing to act.
On behalf of all graduate students, I want to express my deepest gratitude for allowing our voices to be heard. Thank you. I am the graduate student president. When I look at this leadership team at the University of Tennessee, the future is bright. And it's a wonderful time to be a Tennessee volunteer. The University of Tennessee is not a place. It's my home. It will always be my home. Being a volunteer means willing to persevere. It is about an unwavering effort to be a leader in society. I see that in Chancellor Plowman. It is about my story, your stories, our stories, coming together to honor the past and build the future narrative of this great university. I stand up here trying to capture every moment of this because being a volunteer is giving me so much in my life, more than I can have ever imagined. Maybe that's why I'm 35 and I'm still in school. I'm amazed at the volunteer spirit. Every day I'm amazed at the volunteer spirit. It's alive and well. I'm telling you, it's alive and well today. As my time as graduate student at this great university comes to a close, I'm excited for the future. Because I look at this current leadership and I know they live by the mantra, I will give my all for Tennessee today and every day forward. Thank you, and thank you.
It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ann Smith. Dr. Smith is the King and Judy Rogers Professor in Business and serves as head of the Management Department in the Haslam College of Business. Dr. Smith will bring remarks as one of Dr. Plowman's colleagues from her time as a fellow faculty member in the college.
Good afternoon. It's quite an honor for me to be here today at the investiture of my friend, Chancellor Donde Plowman. I've been here for 18 years, and for 3 years I overlapped with Donde Plowman. We were both faculty members in the Department of Management. And we did a lot of things together. We co-authored many papers. In fact, I look back and think it probably was one of the most productive and effective publishing relationships that I've had in my career. But I always knew that 5 a.m. ping of my email was Donde's up and she wants to work on the paper. Maybe that was part of our productiveness. We also co-led 2 study abroad trips to France. And that's where I really relied on her experiences raising teenagers to, for instance, wrangle students that were oversleeping to get on the bus on time to Toulouse. That was a very memorable morning for me. I definitely relied on her skills then. When she was department head in the Department of Management, I knew she had the best interest of me, others, and the department at heart. So I'm proud to have watched my friend and colleague rise through the ranks in Nebraska and return back to the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, back to home. I also have a very favorite memory that is outside of campus. Donde and her friend Pam, they created a book club with women from many different walks of life and many careers. I still remember the first book that Chancellor Plowman chose. It was To Kill a Mockingbird. And I can't imagine a more strong, courageous protagonist than Atticus Finch. This theme of courage is what I'm going to touch on in this very short talk. Certainly, becoming a leader on campus requires courage. I admire women such as Donde Plowman, who take substantial, visible roles that require strength and courage. Yet there's another kind of courage I want to talk about, and it's the courage to be a faculty member. In research, publishing in top journals is an arduous process that Chancellor Plowman knows well. But many outsiders may not have a feel for this. I thought I'd share a story. I can remember going home to Atlanta and taking my first publication for my dissertation. I was so proud of it, it's great. My mother, who was an English major from Chapel Hill, said aloud, it took 3 to 4 years to write a 25-page paper in a journal that's not, I can't even put on my coffee table. So again, this whole process, just to give you a little feel for it, it has many setbacks. You navigate very difficult reviewer comments, some even questioning your basic abilities, rejections, soup to nut revisions, biting comments, and finally, the feeling of jubilation when you get your manuscript and published. And in teaching, public speaking is usually up there on one of the big life skills, fears that most people have. Chancellor Plowman knows well that we eventually learn to overcome our fears, master delivery of material, and take risk with new approaches with students. While we receive a steady stream of positive and helpful comments from students, there are a few that sometimes stop you in your track and take your breath away, but we carry on. So courage is an important element of being a faculty member in the sense that we continue to rework our ideas, we put them forth and submit them to journals, and we stand in front of hundreds of students over our career, if not thousands. So courage is, it is very important for us, and I appreciate that Chancellor Plowman understands this courage of being a faculty member. And so to conclude, I will share a quote from Atticus Finch to his son about courage. I wanted you to see what real courage is. You begin anyway, and you see it through, no matter what. Encouraging and inspiring faculty and leading this great institution forward, Chancellor Plowman, I can't wait to see what's ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. And Mr. Willis, I just want to let you know that I'm still at the University of Tennessee, and I'm 60 years old. So being involved and giving your all never ends. So as you all know, the University of Tennessee is the land-grant university of the state of Tennessee. Back in 1862, Abraham Lincoln made us the land-grant university through the Morrill Act. And the mission of the land-grant university is to provide a ladder up to the middle class and the working class. Now, as you also know, recently we got it recognized as moving up in U.S. News and World Report from 52nd to 44th, which was historic, a great jump. But I have that with, accept that reward with mixed emotions because the U.S. News and World Report, when they give you the rankings, one of the things that they select you on is based on your selectivity, on what percentage of the students that you reject. So if you reject like 70% of the students that apply, that's pretty good. But if you can reject like 95% of the students that apply, that's really good. You look at the top schools, they're rejecting like 95%. As the land-grant university, that's exactly the opposite of who we are. We're not going to be measured by who we exclude. We're going to be measured by who we include. And so that's part of our mission. Our mission is to make sure that we're educating more Tennesseans. And more than no other university in the state of Tennessee, we've educated 250,000 students people across the state of Tennessee in our history, and 12,000 just in the last year. We lead the state in research. We also lead the state in engagement at making a difference in our communities in many ways, including the 95 extension agencies that we have in every single county across the state. As you also know, we have celebrated just over 225 years of history. September 10th, we celebrated 225 years of history in the state of Tennessee. And we talked about that a lot during that celebration. And the thing that we agreed on the best way to celebrate that history and honor that past is to make this next decade the best decade in the history of the state of Tennessee and the University of Tennessee. And we're going to dedicate ourselves to doing that. For us to accomplish either of those missions, the land-grant university mission, making this next decade the best decade in our history, we have to have great leadership. And that's why I'm so excited to be able to be here for the investiture of Donde Plowman. She is going to be a terrific leader and already is. She was everything that we were looking for. We were looking for somebody that could bring stability and bring change. And those things sound contradictory, but they're not. We need somebody that can be here for a long period of time to bring stability to our university. And she's committed to doing that, and we're committed to being here to support her for a long period of time. She's also committed to change. The world's changing, and if our university doesn't change with it, then we're not going to be able to keep up. And she's committed to doing that as well. I've gotten to know her over these last 4 months working with her, and she's a great listener. She's got emotional intelligence. She's got a great vision. She's a decision maker. And I'm just so excited to have the opportunity to work with her, to see her lead our alma mater, our university, and her play that leading role in the state of Tennessee. Before we introduce Donde, we also, Chancellor Plowman, we also want to have hear a few words from another great leader in the state of Tennessee and for the University of Tennessee. John Compton is a very successful businessman and is now the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the University of Tennessee. And let me welcome you, John Compton.
How's everyone? Hope everyone is doing well. Now we're on Rocky Top. How's everybody doing, okay? This is an exciting day. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to thank the selection committee who went through a long process in selecting Dr. Plowman. And a personal thanks to Randy, who oversaw that personally, the stewardship of that selection. I said to Randy once, I said, Randy, you know, you're only going to make a couple of decisions that matter in your role as president. And this is probably one of them. How are you going to get that? How will you get comfortable? How will you know? And he goes, it's amazing what you can find out about someone at 30,000 feet. And you just keep flying around and flying around and flying around till you finally get to know someone. And he got to know Dr. Plowman, and that was the choice he made. My wife Cindy and I had the chance to get to know Donde and her husband Dennis. And it was one of those dinners that we were on the way home, and as any good partner would do, I said to my wife Cindy, I said, what'd you think? And she said, she's a home run. What took you guys so long? And I said, I don't know. I'm going to ask Randy about that when I see him right away. It was clear to me that Donde is exactly who we needed to elevate our Knoxville campus, to collaborate across our university system, and to raise our state to even higher levels of excellence in achievement. She stands for excellence. She is both comprehensive and considerate to the many constituencies that she will serve. And her love of the volunteer spirit, well, it's simply contagious to everyone. Just watch her drive her golf cart across campus and all the students running up to her to take selfies with the chancellor. Today, we left up Chancellor Plowman, and tomorrow, she will be that beacon that shines brightly on that hallowed hill. With that, Chancellor Plowman, will you come forward? Do we have the medallion? This is like a wedding when you're looking for the ring. Do we? Okay. There's the ring. Dr. Donde Plowman, you have been selected to serve as Chancellor of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. It is my great pleasure to present you with the Chancellor's Medallion to formally install you in this role. The medallion is inscribed with your name and the names of all former chancellors of this great institution. By accepting this medallion, you will assume the privilege and the responsibility to lead the flagship of the state of Tennessee. Randy, will you please post? We'll take a picture. back up.
Congratulations, Chancellor Plowman. Now I'd like to introduce Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor David Manderscheid. Prior to the working partnership at UT, Dr. Plowman and Dr. Manderscheid served together as fellow deans at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. Dr. Manderscheid, it's my pleasure to welcome you as you formally introduce Chancellor Plowman.
Thank you, President Boyd. This is a great day for the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, as we recognize and formally pass the torch to our leader, Chancellor Donde Plowman. As we have prepared for this day, Chancellor Plowman has repeatedly said she wants today to be about us, our students, faculty, staff, and alumni, our research, our teaching, our service, and how we define our future. I want to take the next few minutes to talk about her. As President Boyd mentioned, Chancellor Plowman and I worked together at the University of Nebraska at Lincoln, where we were both deans, she in the College of Business and me in Arts and Sciences. I watched her raise funds to build a brand new building, increase enrollment, increase the number of minority students enrolled in the College of Business, add programs, hire new faculty, increase rankings, the list goes on. I knew Chancellor Plowman then, as I know her now, as a great collaborator who brought different parts of campus together. I remember going to her in Nebraska when I needed help landing a computer science faculty member by placing their partner in the College of Business. Later, when she needed the same assistance, I was happy to help too. Her success as dean earned her a promotion to executive vice chancellor and chief academic officer at the University of Nebraska, where she led the campus strategic planning efforts, led the task force to change the budget allocation model, worked closely with athletics to grow a culture of partnership and excellence, and build an overall leadership community around the willingness to act. She got to Nebraska by way of Texas and then here at Tennessee, where she taught and was department head at what is now the Haslam College of Business. When she was here the first time, Dr. Plowman established herself as a uniter of departments and of people through vision and execution by entering the arena and having people's backs. It seems right that leadership around the willingness to act brought her to be a volunteer once again. The willingness to act is ingrained in what it means to be a volunteer, and you simply don't achieve the success she has seen without it. Chancellor Plowman will tell you her success is about surfacing other ideas, communicating shared vision, and creating an empowering environment. At the heart of that is her shining light on others and helping them be successful. When the search committee asked me who I thought should be chancellor, I told them without hesitation, Donde Plowman. She is the right person to carry the torch here and wear the Chancellor's Medallion of the University of Tennessee. It is my pleasure to introduce my boss, my friend, and the ninth Chancellor of the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, Dr. Donde Plowman.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Provost Manderscheid, for that kind introduction, and thanks to all of you who are here today. Thank you, President Boyd and Trustee Compton, for the faith that you've placed in me. I also want to thank my husband, Dennis, for your love and support, and for my sons, Kevin and Chioki, for the joy they bring me every day. Since I've been back on Rocky Top, and especially this past weekend, as we celebrated homecoming, I have met person after person who told me how their time here at UT transformed them, and about all the reasons that they still consider this place their home. It's fitting because for me, the last 4 months have felt like coming home. It's a bit like sitting down at a piano again after years away. Your hands know just where to go. Your fingers remember the weight of the keys. You hear the melodies in your head, but it still takes a little practice to get a feel for the music again. And that's what I've been doing since July, getting a feel for this campus again. I've been on a listening tour, accepting almost every invitation that comes in. Each week I hold office hours and I spend time with our faculty, our students, staff. I've been engaging the deans and touring the colleges, asking hard questions of the cabinet. The progress this university has made since I was here as a faculty member and a department head 9 years ago is remarkable. Our campus has undergone a breathtaking physical transformation. And because of your hard work, more programs than ever before are ranked among the top in the nation. One thing is clear. We are standing at a pivotal moment of extraordinary opportunity. What we do next is up to us. These times of great opportunity are rare, but they're not unprecedented. More than a century ago, a 32-year-old son of a Presbyterian minister named Charles Dabney arrived at the University of Tennessee to become its 11th president. It was 1887, 25 years after the Morrill Act establishing land-grant universities, 18 years after UT received its land-grant designation. When Dabney came to UT, he found a modest campus offering a classical education to Southern gentlemen. But what he saw was possibility and great opportunity. Dabney revamped the curriculum, he replaced and then doubled the size of the faculty, the student body grew threefold. UT fully admitted women for the first time in 1892. That's good. And Dabney hired a dean of women at that time to help with their success. The university even started its first women's basketball team in 1903. Dabney also convinced the Tennessee legislature to start investing in the university, leading to the very first state appropriation. These were bold moves, but by the time he left in 1904 it was, UT was a prominent research university with a sprawling campus, more than 50 faculty, and 500 students. Charles Dabney launched us on the path to becoming the world-class research institution that we are today, all while focusing on our commitment to education. The path to greatness wasn't preordained. Great things happen. In 1846, when the U.S. Secretary of War asked for 2,800 volunteers to fight in the Mexican-American War, more than 30,000 Tennesseans answered the call. That was courageous. And in 1920, when it came time for the Tennessee General Assembly to decide whether to amend the U.S. Constitution and give women the right to vote, a young lawmaker from East Tennessee cast an unpopular and courageous vote. In his pocket, Representative Harry T. Byrne carried a letter from his mother, Phoebe. At her urging, he took a stand and voted yes. Tennessee became the final state needed to secure ratification, and the U.S. Constitution was amended a week later. I love these stories. They're examples of acts of courage that challenged people in power and moved institutions. Sometimes that's what it takes to make change. The Morrill Act created the land grant and extended education to those who were not part of the elite or the wealthy class. However, it did not guarantee education for everyone. So imagine the courage of Jean Mitchell Gray, Lincoln Blankney, and Joseph Patterson, 3 young black men who were denied admission to UT's graduate school. They took their case to court and they won. And in 1952, they were finally awarded the opportunity they deserved. In 1960, Theodis Robinson was denied undergraduate admission because he was black. With support from his parents, he pressed his case with President Andy Holt and the Board of Trustees. And in 1961, Robinson, along with Charles Blair and Willie Mae Gillespie, were admitted to the University of Tennessee. It was their courage that finally opened our doors to everyone, lighting the way for many others. Bold leadership, the kind that changes hearts and minds, that opens doors that have never before been opened, that propels organizations and society forward, this kind of leadership takes courage. We are all here standing on the shoulders of those who came before us, those who were unafraid to challenge the conventional wisdom and to chart a new path. Legendary engineering professor Fred Brown showed us the difference it can make to have an advocate for underrepresented students. Brown went into high schools across Tennessee to personally recruit top students into the minority scholarship program he founded. Virginia Moore essentially built our UT Extension program from the ground up as our first extension agent in the 1900s. Bill Bass transformed the entire field of forensic anthropology with his radical idea to create a place where he could study dead bodies. And Pat Summitt, whose legacy lives on not only because of the basketball and the basketball court, but it lives on in the hearts of all of us who face challenges and stare them down with unwavering grace. Because of these trailblazers and so many more, we are here where we are today. And where is that? Today, the University of Tennessee is graduating more students, conducting more high-impact research, connecting with more Tennesseans, and garnering more support than ever before. Across this state, countless children grow up wearing orange and dream of becoming a volunteer. Last year, more than 7,000 students earned a degree from this institution. We want to make more of these dreams come true. And we also want to fulfill those dreams for young people who can't even envision them or don't think they are possible. So through the UT Promise and other scholarship programs, we are providing opportunities to more students who need them than ever before. These opportunities allow our students to benefit from our top-ranked programs in nuclear, aerospace, and computer engineering, in nursing, theater, and printmaking, in law, architecture, and supply chain management, in business analytics, information sciences, and many, many others. The education they receive here and the experiences they have while they're here on our campus are transformative. We offer exceptional out-of-classroom experiences that enhance the total educational experience for students. Last year alone, nearly 20% of our undergraduates, a record 4,460 students, participated in research. We are among the top 3 universities in the country for undergraduate engagement in research. More than 1,300 students studied abroad last year, connecting Tennessee to the world and opening up Tennessee to the world and many opportunities. More opportunities for our students to become Fulbright and Rhodes Scholars. The faculty who mentor and teach our students are at the top of their fields, conducting research that's pushing the boundaries of what we know about science and society. We are making, for example, the nation's power grid more efficient and secure through our research. We're also helping diabetes patients monitor blood sugar without having to prick their finger. Our research is advancing STEM education here in Appalachia, where the mortality rate exceeds the nation's and where socioeconomic challenges beg for attention. Beyond scientific achievements, our research touches communities near and far. Our Pro Bono Law Clinic is one of the oldest in the country, and it's a model for how to inspire future attorneys to give back to their communities. UT Libraries is interviewing hundreds of survivors of the 2016 Gatlinburg wildfires. They're archiving the stories of heartache and resilience as our neighbors rebuild after that tragedy. And at the Institute of Agriculture, our faculty are discovering how to improve plant and animal production, which will help feed a growing world population. The impact of our work is possible in large part because of the support we receive as an institution. Last year, we had a record number of donors, more than 47,000 people. This shows just how broad our base of support really is, that people care enough about this place that they put their money behind it. In fact, our alumni and friends were so generous during our ambitious Join the Journey campaign that we met our goal nearly 2 years early. That's unheard of. We now have 3 named colleges, more scholarships, and greater support for faculty than ever before. And support isn't just coming from private donors. In recent years, the state legislature has increased its investment in our university and in higher education as a whole in this state. Most public universities across the country cannot say that right now. Over the last 4 months, I have crisscrossed the state, meeting alums, donors, parents, legislators, future volunteers. Every person I have met has told me how much they love this university. Even people who never attended UT tell me how important this university is to them, to their families, and to their local communities. Our university, unlike any other entity in this state, connects the people of Tennessee. You feel it when 100,000 fans sing Rocky Top in Neyland Stadium. You hear it in the music resonating from our concert halls. You see it in the knowledge shared in our classrooms. Our legacy lives in every person touched by the teachers, the nurses, the social workers who learned to lead at the University of Tennessee. We should never lose sight of this. This is what we stand for. So here we are, 225 years after Blount College was founded, 150 years after East Tennessee College became a land grant, 126 years after the University of Tennessee regularly admitted women for the first time, and nearly 60 years after Robinson, Gillespie, and Blair defined what it truly meant to promise and deliver an education for everyone. You have to wonder if Charles Dabney could ever have imagined where we are today. We have more than 250,000 alumni around the world, 250,000 alums around the world, and have made discoveries that have expanded human knowledge and solved grand challenges. Now, here we stand at another crucial time in our history. Our path, again, is not predetermined. But momentum alone will not carry us into the future that we want. We get to define what it means to be Tennessee's flagship land-grant university for the next 225 years. We will work together to build this vision. And whatever we decide is our best path forward, I do know this: the University of Tennessee will be an institution of courage. What does that mean? Well, first, it means we will have the courage to take risks in our curriculum and in our research. Let's be the first land-grant research university willing to radically innovate our curriculum. A 30-hour, narrowly focused major may not be the best way to serve every student. Industries and business leaders continue to tell us that they want a workforce with integrated knowledge and skill sets. I recently heard Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, say that universities should encourage students to major in learning. Imagine that, a major called learning. The best way to prepare students for jobs that haven't yet even been created is to teach them how to learn and how to solve problems. Let's have the courage to create more flexible degree programs. Let's quell any declining trust in higher education by holding ourselves accountable and being bold in meeting the changing needs of students and society. Let's acknowledge that innovation and discovery often happen at the intersections of our disciplines, where the hard sciences meet social sciences, where technology meets the humanities. These intersections are where we will take on the significant challenges facing Tennessee and our world. through collaboration, through creativity, and through compassion. We have built a strong and enviable partnership with Oak Ridge National Lab, the nation's preeminent science research facility. This relationship is leading to advancements in science that we are translating into useful solutions to everyday problems. Fulfilling the promise of the new Oak Ridge Institute will provide us with enormous potential to move beyond the status quo. We will bring the intellectual power of UT faculty together with other researchers and industry partners. Let's create a culture that fosters such connections. Let's have the courage to take risks and not be limited by the way we have always done things. Second, we will have the courage to care. In order to achieve our goals, we must care about one another. Let's be known as the university where respectful interaction defines everything we do, where civil discourse is always our default. Let's model for the world what it means to have strong convictions on an issue while listening, truly listening to the strong convictions of others. Let's give life to the idea that we can be challenged through conversation with those who disagree with us and still be open to the possibility that those interactions might change us, might move us. I want every student, staff, and faculty member to find a home here, a place where they feel comfortable being themselves, that will enable us to do our best work and grow and learn alongside people different from ourselves. Let's be the place where we learn from one another and stand up for one another, no matter our differences. Let's be the place where we celebrate the things we have in common as well as the things that make us different. Let's have the courage to care. And finally, we must have the courage to lead. The inscription on the torchbearer statue reads, "One that beareth a torch, shadoweth oneself to give light to others." We are the volunteers. We bear the torch. We give light to others. It is in the DNA of Tennesseans to step forward in service and in leadership. Let's give new energy to what it means to be a leader. Let's recommit to that idea for every member of the volunteer family. Imagine the power T as a symbol of courage, demonstrating to the world what it means to step forward and act. Imagine the Tennessee graduate traveling around the world in an orange shirt, hearing, "Oh, you went to Tennessee. What was your volunteer experience? What did you do to help make the world better?" We can be that place, known around the world for producing graduates for whom service and leadership was part of their experience, and who graduate committed to making the world a better place. If we summon the courage to take risks in our classrooms, in our curriculum, in our research, if we summon the courage to care, to grow and learn alongside those that are different from ourselves, if we summon the courage to lead and serve like the thousands and thousands who have come before us, we will light the way for our state, for other universities, and for our world. We will bear the torch. Thank you.